Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 16 of the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. Yes, 16. It is the podcast Sweet 16. I wonder if I should pivot and just scratch what I had planned for today and do a Sweet 16 themed episode. Because let me tell you, Sweet 16s can, supplement things when you're not doing weddings. But I'm not going to do that. If you want to talk about Sweet 16s, let me know. We'll put it on the docket. But for now, it's just going to be business as usual. Before we begin, I'd like to say my name is Nina Adio, and I thank you for allowing this podcast into your earbuds, Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever you are listening from. On the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast, I discuss tips and tricks for wedding pros to DIY their social media or to gain the confidence to outsource it. So I've been a social media marketing professional, specifically in the wedding industry for over 8 years now. And it is something I'm just passionate to talk about. So I said, well, I'm going to throw up a podcast and talk to myself about it. So this way I get it all out of my system. Today, what I want to talk about is pain points. And that's because it's what I'm dealing with personally right now as we speak. So a little story. I thought today that I would do that what I was doing was a real big girl move. I listen to a lot of podcasts from female business owners. I'm in a lot of groups where we network and talk. And a lot of them have mentioned treating themselves, booking a hotel room and either using it to work from a different atmosphere if they work from home or just to relax. And well, I do work from home and it had been a really busy season for me. I felt like I never got to really catch up from when I had been out sick with COVID, and not even out sick. It was just working with COVID, which really inspired me to restructure everything. But that's not the point. The point is, I said, I'm going to be like these big girls and I'm going to take advantage of we're in the last few weeks of winter season where rates for normally really high end hotels are much more economical for me. And I'm gonna book just an overnight to stay and really either work on my writing, work on my reading, perhaps writing, reading, blogging, whatever it is, something that's gonna be more nurturing for me and relaxing and a change of atmosphere from my home. So the first red flag, the first problem was when I saw that the on site restaurant was closed. So I said, well that's great. That wasn't on the website because I was just going to get room service, and so that was the first alarm. But there I checked the Grubhub. I will be able to get some Burger King, so there is hope for me. But the next thing I noticed when I got to the room is that there's no desk. There's no desk. So here I am booking a writing retreat and there is no desk. Writing, working, whatever it is. So I'm like, okay, right now the laptop is on my suitcase and it's working. So we're okay. But, if I can't really work, then what does that leave? Relaxing. And I like to relax by watching stuff. I don't normally just get to sit down and binge watch something without working at the same time. And the TVs do not screen mirror or they're not smart TVs. I am really gonna just have to get down to my roots here and not escape with media. I can't escape with work. So it seems like it's just me and you guys, I am just stuck with myself. But this is where experiences become really great and they help you tap in to user pain points, okay? Especially weddings, I consider a branch of the hospitality industry. So already I have equipped myself to know somebody's pain points now when traveling, now when at a hotel. We're not going to trick you with seasonal hours that aren't posted, or we're going to have state of the art televisions for you while you're staying in your room. Things like that I've already now now I know these things if I were to be marketing for a hotel, but it leads you to think, okay, how can I do this for my business, all right, we'll bring it back to weddings, and how can I do it respectfully? Because I don't think pain points should be brought in to encourage fear. I don't think you should be trying to scare your audience into booking with you, but there are really respectful things you can say to comfort people, to cause them to trust you, and to make them feel confident in giving you a lot of money. And I say it like that because weddings are expensive. So, how can you respectfully display your pain points? Okay, the first way you can do that is through your reviews, the ones that you curate. There are messages behind those reviews. So, sometimes a reviewer will say, as I'm, reading people's reviews, they will say that this professional treated us with respect. We previously had booked someone else who XYZ, and this vendor did not do that. Sometimes you will get examples like that. This way, they're saying the message for you. They're saying they had a great experience with you, they could trust you, and that you were set apart from the pack. So that you're not going to go there. This way you don't have to be a laundry commercial, okay? Those Tide commercials where it's Tide versus the other brand, and sometimes they even say what the brand is. I hate that. I hate that. So you don't have to go saying what the other brand is. You can use reviews to highlight what it is you're trying to say. And if you don't have reviews, play around with what your review process is. You could be asking them too soon. After a wedding, they may be really busy. You could be asking them too late if you're waiting till after a year. Or you could be asking them too infrequently. So maybe you only asked once after the wedding and then never sent a reminder. Brides and grooms or any event host is they're busy after a big party. So it's okay to send a follow-up reminder because that's going to help you with your business, especially if they were pleased with it. If they send you an email with a nice review, you could always say, or a nice feedback. Sometimes they'll text, and you'll see people screenshot those and share them to their stories. So you could do that. But also, it's okay to say back, it would really help my small business grow if you could copy and paste that and put it on Facebook, The Knot, or Yelp, wherever you're subscribed, or Google, and see who'll do it. And that will really help you. And then you can use those reviews again with your messaging. The next thing you want to do is you really want to be familiar with what your clients pain points are. You want to know what it is that they may be struggling with or dealing with. And that could mean asking people, take a couple you're already comfortable with, or maybe a friend or relative who is that target audience for you, and ask what was hard about booking your wedding DJ, your wedding venue, etc. What did you struggle with? What were the hard things about it? What did you not end up liking about the DJ you did book? Were you happy? If you weren't, why weren't you? You could even discover this by looking at people's bad reviews and start to learn what about your consumer is a pain point for them. Look at what made them unhappy, and then you can think about how you make sure that doesn't happen for you. So, an example for what I'm dealing with would be if a hotel said, we make sure that guests are comfortable by offering state of the art Bluetooth and smart TVs so that they can stream whatever it is that makes them feel at home. So, by taking someone's negative and identifying that, I was able to come up with a positive. So, an example could be that, requests can be handled on the fly with our DJ company because of our digital catalog that is always with us. I'm just coming up with something hypothetical on the fly, but these would be more thought out and considered because you'll be researching those and looking at your reviews, looking at other people's reviews, and looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly. So what do you do once you know that information, though? You put it in your captions. So when you're posting on social media, it doesn't have to be a graphic that says we're better because. I mean, it could be. Certainly go for it. But it could just be your caption. It can be in your website text. So coming up with these mission statements and these traits about you that make you better or that make your service what people should be booking should be all over your website. You can do it in blog posts, you can do it through your FAQ, you can do it through your about section, through your services. This is where all that information can live. And then when you're going to create content on social media, you can pick and pull some of those points and use them as your captions. So this way, that website content is living in so many other places and it's not going to be redundant or repetitive because what happens is nobody is checking all these things all at the same time every day. So we like to think it, but the reality is somebody is not going to be on my Facebook, on my Twitter, on my Instagram, and reading every word of my website every day of the year, day in and day out, not even my mother. So if I post something on LinkedIn, and on Instagram and on my website, I'm going to be lucky if my audience sees it in one of those three places. So I don't mind sharing my message more than once and on more than one place. And it's because not everybody is going to see it. So, in order to make sure it has the best chance of being seen, you have to not only post it, but you have to post it in as many places as you can. That's similar now to what I was saying about the reviews. You have to ask more than once because people aren't always going to be available, ready, or connecting the time you ask for it. So when you have a really important post or a really important message, it's okay to post it more than once. For example, when my clients are hiring, that's really important. I got to get these jobs filled for them. And that's something I do as part of the social media marketing because then I'm able through what they do with me I'm able to save them from having to hire recruitment and things like that. So I don't just post that once and then wait for resumes to come in. I'm at least posting it once a week and I'm posting on their Facebook, I'm posting on their Instagram, I'm posting it on stories. And, never have I had somebody say, you posted that last week. Ever. What I have instead is that it will get shared by different people each different time I post it in order to get more reach to the client. So don't worry, A, about sharing in too many places and B about sharing too frequently. Now I do notice if you share every day. Don't share the same post every day. Okay. There was this one venue who was posting about their Thanksgiving every day and then they'd archive the post and post it again. And it was a little much because when you're posting every day and then hiding it, it made me think, wow, they really can't get people for this. But that's because I'm on the inside. Chances are a customer isn't going to notice that, but I still wouldn't recommend posting it every day. Instead, I would say if you want something daily, that's when you switch up the tactics. So you post on LinkedIn one day, Facebook the other day, Instagram the next, Instagram stories the next, and repeat. That I'm okay with, but I wouldn't do everything every day. Typically, what I'll do, like I said, for the important posts are once a week. So take that content that you have on your website and put it into your captioning. And the more important it is, then the more places you want to post it and more frequently. So rather than have it be one and done, I would have it appear in next month's content calendar too, and so forth. And then as far as frequency goes, I wouldn't recommend going beyond more than once a week. Another pain point that I haven't really spoken about is just a matter of personalities. Who are you? What's your personality and what can people expect when meeting you? Because sometimes we find that we're just not jiving with somebody. Or, for example, I'm not jiving with the atmosphere of this hotel I selected. I thought what I wanted was something upscale and what I'm learning is in the area that I've gone to that maybe upscale is a little different. Maybe the indoor living isn't what I thought because it's all about outdoor living, even here in the winter. So sometimes it's okay, that can be your asset to somebody, that it's not about this certain lifestyle or that. What you're about is XYZ. So here I'm at a place where it's about outdoor living, which normally would be a positive, but indoor living is what I'm looking for. So what you may think of as a negative to some is a positive to somebody else. Somebody's trash is somebody else's treasure. But letting people know who you are, who you serve, what you stand for, who you jive with can be a really good way of eliminating a pain point. For example, I always recommend that vendors put or have a post expressing their support for LGBT weddings, unique weddings, whatever it is, because it's important for that client to know they're accepted, because the horrible reality is that not everybody does. So, a pain point for them you can eliminate by letting them know that you support them and how much you support them on your website, in your content, etc. And that can come through the type of posts you make as well. You want your posts to be diverse, because when I see diverse posts, that means that the profile supports a diverse world, and that's what I like to see. So, I guess to summarize, this is really just about learning from your experiences, learning about the consumer experience, and learning from other people's mistakes. I kind of really love the tip looking at other people's negative reviews just to learn what not to do. And of course, sometimes you read a review and it's the reviewer. Like, that their expectations were way off. But sometimes you do hear things where you're like, oh, wow, I better be sure that that never happens to me. So that was something fun we came up with on the fly on this episode. So thank you guys so much for listening in. If you enjoyed this today, please leave an Apple Podcast review, as it means a lot and helps more people to find this podcast. New episodes of the I Do Wedding Marketing podcast come out on Wednesdays. I'm also live on my Instagram mostly every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. This Wednesday I'm not going to be because I am traveling. But you can learn more about my services and inquire about working together at www.idoweddingmarketing.com. Thanks for being here, and until next week.